Hello, good morning and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denisia Pomaiji. In our very first story, the government has announced a raft of major economic reforms, including the scrapping of the COVID-19 levy and the reduction in the effective VAT rate. Finance Minister Kesel Atoforsen made the announcement when he presented the 2026 budget to Parliament on Thursday.
Finance Minister Dr. Kesel Atoforsen opened his 2026 budget presentation with a sharp critique of the previous Akufo-Addo government, accusing it of leaving behind what he described as a ticking time bomb economy.
We met an economy in distress, weighed down by debt, weakened by mismanagement, and stripped of confidence. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget...
On the economy itself, the government says it has begun the rationalization of the VAT system, a move expected to reduce the effective VAT rate on all goods and offer much needed relief to businesses.
The new VAT reforms will do the following. We will abolish the COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the decoupling of Govt and National Health Insurance levies from the VAT tax base. So, Speaker, we will abolish VAT on reconnaissance and prospecting of minerals.
The Finance Minister announced the abolition of the COVID-19 levy as part of efforts to ease the tax burden while pledging to widen the tax net to capture more eligible Ghanaians. He also hinted at plans to re-enter the domestic bond market, where the Bank of Ghana expected to help stabilize key economic indicators.
The Bank of Ghana will stay data-driven and cautious, holding inflation within the targeted band of 8 ±2 and easing only when safe. Speaker, Central Bank is doing a good job.
In the energy sector, Dr. Kesel Atoforsen disclosed that power purchase agreements that have long drained the economy have all been successfully renegotiated.
Mr. Speaker, for the first time, we are not accruing new arrests in energy sector. The Electricity Company of Ghana revenues has risen almost 90%, from 900 million to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis per month.
The Finance Minister noted that ECG's revenue collection has improved, and government will now focus on reviving declining oil production to boost energy output.
Ghana's oil production has witnessed consistent decline over the years, falling from 71.4 million barrels in 2019 to an estimated 36 million barrels in 2025, almost 50% decline. President Mahama has taken decisive action to reverse this trend.
One of the biggest highlights was the 24-hour economy, the flagship initiative of President Mahama. The Finance Minister reaffirmed government's commitment to the policy, announcing plans to build new factories and restrict the export of raw materials to spur local processing and job creation.
3 new garment factories in Bono East, Central and Eastern regions will be established to operate under the 24-hour economy. To strengthen local manufacturing, export of non-ferrous scrap metals and raw rubber will be restricted under the Feed the Industry program. 7 new agro-processing plants in the Northern, Central, Ahafo, Bono, Northeast, Bono East, and Western North regions will soon be fully operational.
In Agric, the government plans to establish farmer service centers nationwide and procure modern farm equipment to boost productivity.
The government will provide agriculture mechanization machinery for 50 agricultural districts with over 4,400 different machineries. So, Speaker, these machineries will include the following. So, Speaker, we'll be getting 660 tractors, 3,000 tractor trailers, 200 mini tractors.
Under the Big Push agenda, the major infrastructural drive and Accra-Kumasi Expressway was announced.
Ghana's first modern 6-lane bi-directional Class A expressway, stretching 198.7 kilometers. The Accra-Kumasi Expressway will link the capital to the Ashanti region.
In education, government will begin phasing out the double track system and embark on a massive retooling of schools to enhance teaching and learning.
Mr. Speaker, government is rolling out a 2-year program to end the double track system in our secondary schools. Mr. Speaker, under this program, we will upgrade Category A schools by building new classroom blocks. We will upgrade 10 Category B schools to Category A, equipping them with modern classrooms. We will accordingly upgrade 30 Category C schools to Category B. Mr. Speaker, we will build new classrooms, dormitories, and modern science resource centers.
On the health front, Dr. Kasila Toforsin announced the construction of 6 new regional hospitals and the completion of 10 Agenda 111 hospitals started under the previous administration.
Mr. Speaker, government will begin the construction of 6 new regional hospitals for 6 newly created regions, beginning with 3 hospitals in 2026 and 2 district hospitals at Bole and Shama. Mr. Speaker, also in 2026, government will complete 10 Agenda 111 hospitals. We will continue the General Hospital, Efiem Kwanta Hospital in Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis.
The security sector will also see significant investment in 2026 with plans to retool the Ghana Armed Forces and the Fire Service to improve national security readiness.
For the Air Force, procurement will begin immediately in 2026 for 4 new helicopters and 2 aircraft to enhance airlift. Government will retool the Ghana National Fire Service with 100 fire tenders and assorted fire equipment.
However, the finance minister also revealed that some corruption cases are under investigation, promising government's commitment to accountability.
An equivalent of $31 billion in transactions were transferred abroad with no goods imported into the country. Mr. Speaker, this leaks bleeds our reserves.
The minority, in a sharp response after the budget presentation, dismissed the 2026 budget as a lamentations budget, claiming it offered little hope to the Ghanaian people.
After several months on the job, he came to repeat the same lamentation, part 2 of his lamentation. When the minister himself is a minister, is a member of parliament, and fails to recognize the parliament and its work, and you say we should hail you. Look at the ministers and their faces. Mr. Speaker, 2025, he should tell us the releases he gave them. When he was mentioning some of the figures, the ministers were looking as if this is the first time they were seeing the figures. Was there any consultation? Mr. Speaker, was there any consultation?
But the majority leader fired back, insisting the budget lays the foundation for economic recovery and renewed growth.
It is not lamentations. It is the continued unearthing of the bad economic management of the NPP that is being revealed every day. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious from the budget statement that the NPP government was the worst case study of bad economic management.
Dr. Kasila Toforsin's 2026 budget paints a picture of optimism, tax reliefs, infrastructural promises, and an ambitious 24-hour economy. But as always, the real test will be in delivery and whether the numbers will match the rhetoric in the months ahead.
Away from Parliament, the Minister of State for Climate Change and Sustainability, Isifu Seidu, is pushing for the establishment of climate and sustainability units in all ministries to strengthen nationwide adaptation and mitigation efforts. He says stakeholder consultations have begun and the rollout will start once Cabinet gives approval, extending from national ministries to district assemblies. Speaking to JoyNews at COP30 in Brazil, Honorable Seidu noted that the initiative will drive both adaptation actions and also meaningful behavioral change in communities.
We are also pushing that we should have, climate and sustainability unit in all the ministries in Ghana. We should have that in all the ministries in Ghana, so that once we have that, they will be championing together with the departments and agencies under these ministries. They will be championing the sectoral climate-related issues. So what we're doing is that we've already had engagement, stakeholder engagement with all the ministers, and the ministries. And we're working on a document that is going to cabinet. Once it gets to cabinet and we get the endorsement, these units will be institutionalized. And we're even looking at the district assemblies. How do we champion locally led adaptations? How do we ensure community sensitization? And that is why we need to have the localized units at the district assemblies. They will be engaging these communities on a sustainable basis. And once we do that, behaviors will begin to change.
Away from COP30 in Brazil, the Ministry of Education is set to introduce digital education at the basic level as part of efforts to expand the existing digital policy already in use in TVET and also STEM schools. Technical advisor to the Ministry of Education, Professor George K.T. Odro, disclosed this at the launch of the National Digital Academy, organized by the African Digital Education Network. Mamavi Sefakote has the rest of the story.
Speaking at the National Digital Education Conference in Accra, technical advisor to the Ministry of Education, Professor George K.T. Odro, emphasized that it is time for learners at the basic level to be included in Ghana's existing digital policy, already being implemented in technical and vocational education and training, TVET institutions, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM schools, as it is an integral part of education.
Said if you take secondary curriculum, take TVET, it is there, it has started. It forms an integral part of our curriculum. When you come to the foundational level, that is where we have a gap, and that is where the ministry's attention, in fact, the minister says that the digitally skilled adult you want at age 80 should begin at age 6. It is when you start early that you will be able to mold the child, support the child to develop skills in technology that will help him or her survive and meet challenges as they grow.
He further explained that expanding digital education will strengthen Ghana's education system and improve learning outcomes.
If we do not make it an integral part of the curriculum to guide teaching and learning, children will explore things themselves and they will develop with some character which may not fit our cultural values, and which may not prepare them well for adult life. And so it is very necessary that our curriculum is tuned to equip young ones, to empower them to develop the skills of technology, educational technology, digital learning, so that they can cope with current demands of teaching and learning. Yeah.
General Manager of the Africa Digital Education Network, Pim de Box, also shared how the conference will contribute to Ghana's education transformation agenda.
The main objective really for us is that the people that join us today, either here offline or through the live stream on Facebook, really feel empowered to take the lead, dare to make the next step on that journey towards digital learning, in changing education in Ghana.
The National Digital Conference, organized by the African Digital Education Network, was held under the theme Building the Future of Digital Education Together. Mamavi Sefakote's report for JoyNews.
And to some other stories. The country director of Farm Access Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Entry, has disclosed that hypertension has now emerged as the leading cause of death among adults in Ghana, according to a new national mortality analysis. Now, presenting the findings at the 67th Annual General Conference of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Entry cautioned that most of those affected fall within the nation's economically productive age bracket, warning that rising burden of hypertension could result in major social and economic losses if urgent preventive measures are not taken.
The 7th Annual General Conference of the Ghana Medical Association held at the University of Cape Coast was on a theme, Strengthening Public-Private Partnerships for Sustainable Healthcare Delivery. Day 4 of the week-long conference featured presentations from several pharmaceutical companies. Speaking on the topic, Innovative Financing Models for Healthcare, the Country Director for Farm Access Ghana, Dr. Med Maxwell Ainchi, described the National Health Insurance Scheme as Ghana's main healthcare financing mechanism.
So if you look at Ghana, our main demand-side financing mechanism is the National Health Insurance Scheme. Currently, 55% plus of Ghana's population are covered. I always say that, in Ghana, it is the NHIS that get the most votes every year. 55% of Ghanaians vote for the National Health Insurance Scheme, irrespective of all the challenges we have. They vote for the National Health Insurance Scheme every year. This is the aspiration of every presidential candidate, to get 55% of the population voting for it. But the National Health Insurance Scheme gets that. Why? It's because if you look at our history, over the last 22 years, the NHI has been very innovative in working with partners to go through a certain cycle of iteration. In 2005, 2008, thereabout, started with credentialing tools and digitalized them. And then enrollment digitalization. I remember years ago when we used to enroll people in the northern part of Ghana, a farmer who traveled 5 kilometers with a bicycle and a chicken at the back, just so that he can spend 3-4 days at the NHI center to get registered. Now you can do it using a short code. And that has really transformed how the NHIS has evolved.
Dr. Ainchi further identified pregnancy and delivery and hypertension as the country's leading health cost drivers, revealing that new data indicates hypertension is now the leading cause of mortality in the country.
The data that has been released from our mortality statistics also show that the number one cause of death among adults in Ghana is now hypertension. So not only is it reflecting in our bills, but it's also reflecting in our mortality data. So how do we use the monies that we have much more efficiently going forward? If you look at the population that is hit by hypertension, about 1 out of 3 adult Ghanaians have hypertension. And these are the productive economic age groups. And if they suffer complications, then we call something disability-adjusted life years. And death-adjusted life years. It's really an economic loss to lose people in their young age to either complications or death. And by solving this, we protect our fragile domestic national economy.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisal-Nkrumah reports for JoyNews.
From health, let's move to sanitation. Upper West Regional Minister Charles Luanga Posin has expressed concern over the state of sanitary conditions in the region. Speaking at the commissioning of 47 boreholes at Kusele in the Nandom municipality of the Upper West region, he expressed satisfaction with the region's attainment of over 74% water coverage. He is, however, not enthused about the sanitation situation, urging municipal and district assemblies to institute sanitation bylaws to deal with offenders. JoyNews' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
To the benefit of the people and maintain it to the best of their capability.
The symbolic commissioning of the borehole at Kusele forms part of 47 other boreholes drilled by SMB Netherlands Development Organization in the Lambusi, Lora, and Nandom municipalities. It was undertaken under the Building Climate Adaptation Capacities Project funded by the European Union and the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ. Project manager of SMV, Teresa Swansea Bafwa, speaking on behalf of the country director of SMV, noted that the commissioning of the boreholes are not only opening water points, but opportunities for good health, learning, dignity, and for growth as well.
Through this project, we have constructed 23 boreholes across Lora, Lambusie, and Nandom. Beyond that, we've also trained water and sanitation management teams to ensure community-led maintenance. We've supported over 1,000 farmers with timely climate information to improve food security, and we've also promoted locally made composting, fire management, and sustainable farming practices that protect the environment. And as today we have members from the Ghana Fire Service and then also Agriculture Department with us. Indeed, we can clearly see that the BCAC project is an example of how local priorities, when matched with strong partnerships, can transform communities.
Our Power Minister, Lawyer Charles Wonga-Pozun, commended SMB Netherlands Development Organization for a plethora of projects that are bettering the lives of the people. Whilst expressing joy over the region's attainment of over 74% water coverage, Lawyer Charles Wonga-Pozun is however not enthused with that of sanitation, urging municipal and district assemblies to institute bylaws to deal with sanitary offenders.
As a region, our performance in the water delivery service is so impressive, recording above 74.5% regional water coverage. But that cannot be said about sanitation. This is the most reason why I wish to reiterate my appeal to all to graciously embrace His Excellency the President's National Sanitation Day program, which falls on every first Saturday of the month. Let me use this opportunity once again to renew my appeal to all municipal and district assemblies to make adequate budgetary allocation to sanitation-related activities in their areas of jurisdiction.
GIZ Reach Project Manager Matthias Berthold stated that the partnership with SMV is a demonstration of communities, local authorities, and development partners can bring lasting change to the lives of the people.
So through the community action planning process, you, the people of Kusele, among more than 200 other communities, have identified your unique challenges, set your priorities, and developed your own local action plans. It was through this process that the need for this water facility was clearly expressed. And today, you see the result of your vision, your perseverance, and your partnership.
Nandom Municipal Chief Executive Anthony Zinel seized the opportunity to speak about the indiscriminate felling of trees, urging the people to desist from the act.
I wish to call on our chiefs to help us fight the indiscriminate felling of trees, including commercial trees for firewood and charcoal, which is gradually degrading our environment. I am saying this here because this area is one of the areas noted for such things. We must all take an interest in curbing these menace as it inheres in the benefit of the sea, but the repercussions affect all of us.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam, Kusele.
And that's all we have for you on today's edition of AM News. But right after AM News is sports. And today, we have an exclusive interview with the president of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana. And that's Kwabena Yeboah. Well, he sat with Joy Sports editor Nathaniel Atto. My name is Denise Apomaije. If you want more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Enjoy.